السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Your Excellency, distinguished management and staff of the ISDB Group, we are gathered today in celebration of the International Women's Day. Worldwide, March 8 is a special day to recognize and celebrate achievements of women, the progress made towards achieving gender equality and women's empowerment, and to reinforce our commitment. My name is Mourouj Safder. I'm NGOs and civil society specialist at the Resilience and Social Development Department, and I have been a proud female staff of the bank since 2016. And I'm honored to be the master of ceremony for today. Just a few housekeeping notes before we get started. Kindly adhere to the social distance and necessary COVID restrictions while you are in the hall. ISDB female staff, please, those who are connected virtually, make sure you are connected and joining us through the Zoom link mentioned in the invitation and not the YouTube, so you can easily join us to the second session of today's event. I would like also to ask our female staff connected through Zoom to kindly open your cameras and mute your mics. It gives me great pleasure to welcome all of you to the ISDB Women International Day event with the presence of His Excellency, the ISDB President, Dr. Mohammed Al-Jasir. We are very grateful to His Excellency for gracing this important event. This is a true commitment to making the bank a world-class institution through increasing the awareness and importance of women's empowerment and engagement within the bank and the workforce and in our member countries, and to help the bank to be an inclusive, diverse and dynamic institution we can all be proud of. We would like to thank our senior management from the bank and the ISDB group entities for attending and participating today. We would also like to express sincere thanks and appreciation to the Resilience and Social Development Department Management and the Women Empowerment team, the Staff Social Club and the BCM team for their support and facilitation in organizing this event. We would like to start today's event with a recitation of the Holy Quran by Brother Abdurrahman York. Brother Abdurrahman, تفضل.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان علمه البيان الشمس والقمر بحسبان والنجم والشجر يسجدان والسماء رفعها ووضع الميزان ألا تطغوا في الميزان وأقيموا الوزن بالقسط ولا تخسروا الميزان.
Before starting our next session, let us watch and enjoy a short video on the history of the ISDB Group, internal and external support to women's empowerment.
Women are essential to and are a fundamental priority of the ISDB Group. The presence of female staff in the bank has significantly increased over the past decade and a half, expanding not only in the bank and entities at HQ, but also along with the geographical expansion of the bank across the globe in regional hubs and centers of excellence at diverse levels and roles, from administration to sector and thematic specialists, procurement, finance, IT, and HR. Women can be found at all levels. At the managerial level, the bank has a manager, director, and a director general, and increased representation at the level of the board of executive directors as well. Women have become part of the essential fabric of the bank. With a new target to have 50% of new YP intakes to be female, the bank is now poised to recruit ever more females for further advancements in the future. In 2019, ISDB launched its first ever women empowerment policy, defining women empowerment as a key focus area. Today, ISDB seeks to synergize and leverage governmental and partners' efforts and resources to achieve women empowerment through several programs, including the Business Resilience Assistance for Value-Added Enterprises Program, Brave Women, focusing on women-owned and led enterprises in fragile situations through matching grant and capacity-building activities, the Arab Women Leaders in Agriculture Program, AWLA, a capacity-building program enabling women scientists to further contribute to agricultural research and development, building a female science power in the MENA. The Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics STEM education program, meant to enhance STEM uptake and performance among girls and prepare them for STEM careers. The Coalition to Stop Obstetric Fistula program, aiming to improve maternal health by providing prevention, treatment, rehabilitation, and reintegration services to women suffering from obstetric fistula. Finally, the Cervical Cancer Prevention Program, benefiting 11,250 people. ISDB will continue to improve women's socioeconomic status and facilitate their access to education, health services, technical and financial assistance, basic services, and infrastructure to further empower them.
Today's event promises to be enlightening and engaging. We appreciate the attention His Excellency has given in recognizing the importance of women's empowerment on several occasions from the first day of taking the leadership of the bank. I now would like to invite His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Al-Jasser, the President of the ISDB, to give his speech.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أفضل الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. Dear sisters and brothers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am delighted to address the ISDB Group family today to celebrate this momentous occasion of International Women's Day. This globally observed day is commemorated to recognize the contributions and achievements of women to our societies. Our celebration of this day indicates how important gender equality and women's empowerment are for the bank. It emphasizes how the ISDB values the contributions of women and supports active participation in society, and supports their active participation in society. Moreover, today is also a time of reflection and renewed commitment. In 2019, the bank approved its first ever women's empowerment policy, outlining the ISDB's commitment to promoting women's empowerment to reduce poverty, and foster inclusive, sustainable development. We uphold these commitments while realigning our strategy to achieve the overarching objectives enshrined in the bank's updated 10-year strategy. Dear colleagues, the bank is guided by its member countries' unflinching determination to support women's empowerment. All ISDB members have ratified the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, and most of them have institutionalized mechanisms for women's advancement. From 2010 to 2018, 36 member states have improved their Gender Development Index, a good indicator of member countries' commitment to reducing gender gaps. Yet, despite these positive trends, women are still underrepresented in decision-making and leadership positions. While we celebrate these advancements, we must also remain mindful of an uncomfortable truth. The COVID-19 pandemic has brought about an unprecedented set of barriers for women. They are losing their livelihood as fast as they are more exposed to the hardest hit economic sectors. Violence against women has been on the rise globally. The burden of unpaid care and domestic work has increased exponentially for women and girls, making it difficult to engage in productive activities. The bank will identify ways to provide essential support and services to women living in adverse environments. In addition, the bank will focus more on improving how we assess, mitigate, and respond to the issues of sexual exploitation, abuse, and harassment via our environmental and social safeguards. More attention will also be given to investing in girls' education and providing skilling and training opportunities to help increase women's access to decent and high-income jobs. In addition, the bank seeks to expand and diversify its support for women's entrepreneurs. Dear colleagues, as we scale up our support to our members, we need to exert more efforts to provide diversity, equity, and inclusion in our workplace. The past 2 years have been challenging for all staff as we shifted to virtual work and operated amid ongoing uncertainties. In addition, many colleagues live with vulnerable family members, and children need to take on additional caring responsibilities. These circumstances have generated a better awareness that the burden of care and domestic work still falls disproportionately on women. Dear colleagues, I want to pause here for a moment to recognize our colleagues, our female colleagues in particular. They took on additional burdens while carrying out their responsibilities as ISDB employees to support member countries under challenging circumstances while juggling new and rising demands with household duties. You have my respect and gratitude for your dedication and service. I am also pleased with how the bank has responded to new workplace challenges by changing our practices, policies, behaviors, and culture. But of course, we want to ensure that such policies get developed to reflect a work environment more conducive for our female employees. We guarantee a welcoming and friendly work environment where mutual respect prevails and appropriate mechanisms are in place to ensure any incident, God forbid, if ever occurs, will be handled promptly and impartially. Let us also maximize our focus on recruiting and retaining female talents in our professional and leadership positions. I look forward to working together towards meeting women's needs and ensuring their active contributions to the Bank Group's mission. Thank you. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your inspiring remarks and statements. I would like now to invite His Excellency, Dr. Mansour Mukhtar, the Vice President of the Country Programs Complex of the ISDB. Dr. Mansour, the floor is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. I'm delighted to be with you today and would like to thank the organizers for inviting me to grace this occasion. Sister Christonia called me earlier today and asked to give a goodwill message of about 1 minute. So I will be brief and I'll give the main message to my colleague, VP Zamir. First, I would really like to pay tribute to the women colleagues here who played a great role in the strategy realignment exercise. I'm taking this opportunity to thank them and acknowledge their contribution. We had many of you that were members of the key working groups and the core team. And I must say that we're all impressed by the passion, energy, enthusiasm, and professionalism that you brought to bear in discharging the duty. It was also an opportunity for us to see the talent, the hidden talent we have among our women folk, and they need to nurture that talent. The second point I wanted to make in relation to the exercise itself is that and I want to thank all the colleagues really for the recognition that for us to succeed in supporting our member countries, we really need to enhance or basically enhance our efforts and initiatives aimed at supporting women and ensuring that they play a useful part in the development process. And it's in that context that the strategy document itself really emphasized the need to put more attention to this area, to have women empowerment as a cross-cutting theme across everything that we do. The third point to mention is that we really need to now see how we could nurture and cultivate this talent that we have among us, among women. And in that context, I know that there are lots of initiatives on the ground, but for us in the operations complex, I've been discussing with my colleagues how we could achieve this. And I want to really announce that we are looking at establishing different programs. In particular, we would put in place a developmental assignment program specifically targeted to our women staff here that will give them exposure to operations, to what we do. And that would include secondments to the front offices of senior management to work for a few months to get exposed to this, as well as involvement, greater involvement in field missions. So we will work with HR to do that. I believe that in addition to using that as an opportunity to nurture and cultivate this talent, it would also provide you with an avenue for giving us fresh insights, fresh perspectives on what we're doing, and also to see how you can contribute to helping achieving these results. Lastly, on a personal note, March 8th holds a significant meaning to me. Yes, it's International Women's Day, but it's also the eve of my daughter's birthday, Nafisa. And she's basically, alhamdulillah, mashallah, tabarakallah, she's such a gem. And I always am proud that God has blessed me with a daughter and also her senior sister. Of course, I had prayed hard to get a third daughter, but alhamdulillah for the two I have. Thank you very much. We should all be happy that God has blessed us with all of you in this institution and in our families. And I want to use the opportunity to thank you all for the support you have been giving women folk to us in the bank to enable us to work well, both at home, the home front, that is very important. No matter how comfortable your house is, if you don't have a woman to really get things straight for you, you'll never succeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mansour, for your inspiring words. We will now proceed to the remarks delivered by Dr. Zamir Iqbal, the Vice President of Finance and Administration Complex and CFO of the ISDB. Dr. Zamir, the floor is yours.
Thank you, sister. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Dear sisters and brothers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I think after VP Mansour's very passionate address, it's very difficult to come close to that standard, but I'll do my best. So first of all, let me congratulate you, the International Women's Day, to all of you and the women across the globe. Islamic history is full of the significant contributions of women in all segments of the society. Now, as far as the bank is concerned, bank has been very active in financing the programs and the projects specifically to enhance and improve the women living standards and the active participation in the economic growth of the member countries and the Muslim communities, the non-Muslim countries. In addition to the Islamic Development Bank Group program across the globe for the women, the management always gave the importance to enhance our female colleagues' contribution to alleviate poverty, building green, resilient, and green infrastructure, and inclusive human capital in our member countries. Now, 10 years back, we could not hardly hear or talk about female colleagues in the bank at a managerial or professional staff, but since last few years, with the collective efforts of the management and with everyone, the situation has been improving, and it has changed quite a bit. The bank workforce now has a good number of female colleagues at a managerial, professional, and support position. The HR data shows that number of female colleagues in the professional positions grown from 5% to 9% from 2017 to 2021, and I hope we can continue increasing this percentage. I have pleasure of meeting with many of female colleagues, and one of them I'm very admiring is Sister Intan, who is our Director of IT. MashaAllah, I think no male can compete with her commitment and the energy and the way she has turned around the whole IT department. Sister Intan, I'm not sure whether you're here, but I really thank you so much for your services and the contributions. Now, where do we go from here? As I said, that yes, we have made a good progress, but this is not where we want to be. We want to do much better. So in order to enhance the female colleagues' role in achieving the bank's objective, there was a committee formed by the name of IDB Group Female Committee, and they have come up with a number of recommendations which were very welcomed by the management and all the other colleagues. We were now working on how to implement these recommendations, whether enhancing our workplace environment or many more. Similarly, at the same time, HRMD is working on enhancing many of our benefits, many of our policies to make them more female-friendly, and that includes certain benefits which are specific for our sisters. Now, I urge HRMD to complete that project of enhancing, revising the policies, and make sure that we do act upon it. Now, towards the end, I would really encourage everyone, each of you participants, that please encourage go through your network, encourage other female colleagues or friends to attract to the IDB. We do want to attract a good talent. For that matter, in our talent strategy, we are making sure that we are able to attract more female contribution as part of our colleagues, and we cannot do it alone without your help and without your participation. So with that, on the behalf of the senior management, I thank you for all the contributions, and inshallah, we will make sure that we give everyone equal and more opportunity to excel and assume more leadership positions. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Zamir, for your very important recommendations and remarks. I would like now to invite His Excellency, Brother Ayman Sajini, the CEO of ICD, to give his remarks. Brother Ayman, the floor is yours.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد. It's a great honor to stand here in front of you today and congratulate you on the International Women's Day. It's a great day for us to celebrate, and I'd like to remind you all of Sayyida Khadija bint Khuwaylid. She was the first person who had followed Sayyidina Muhammad. She was a great businesswoman on her own right. She had 2 sons and she had 4 daughters. It's a great importance for us to remind us all that that was a great history how Islam started. From ICD point of view, Islamic Cooperation Development of the Private Sector, we have business resilient value added enterprise. We called it BRAVE. BRAVE was a great initiative that we have executed in Yemen and had done great breakthroughs. But when I joined ICD, I was thinking of my mother that actually survived World War II in Germany at the time. And it was very difficult for her and her mom to survive it. And I was thinking, isn't that important for us to really focus on the ones that had the most difficulties usually in war zones or fragile states or economic downturn, to really give them the right requirements. So we have added Brave Women, recognizing the role that the SMEs play in fragile settings and the fact that local firms are essential in the times of fragility. The bank will continue to work its private sector arm, the Islamic Cooperation Development of the Private Sector, ICD, to provide needed assistance to SMEs in fragile situations through matching grants and capacities building activity, which included a 25% target for women-owned SMEs in Yemen under its flagship program known as BRAVE. This program was further strengthened with a funding from Women Enterprise Finance Initiatives, WEFI. To date, the ISDB has received a total of $52.45 million grant, funding the WEFI to implement 2 programs to support women's small and medium enterprises in ISDB member countries. Just yesterday, or 2 days ago, we had Women Empowerment Program in Saudi Arabia. On Sunday, ICD signed an agreement with JP Morgan and Nafisa Shams Academy to train 105 Saudi women and build their capacity, Saudi women, under the ICD Women Enterprise Program. The program is tailored and designed to build the capabilities and skill of participating women entrepreneurs, and particularly their technical and managerial skills, and financial accounting reporting and management skills at both the individual and institutional level. I'd like to remind everyone also that we at HR in ICD is a female, and we have been focusing in trying to attract female CVs in order for them to be able to be part of the ISTB and ICD specifically. So thank you very much again for giving me this chance here today in front of you. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Brother Ayman, for your remarks. I would like also to thank the management from ISIC and ITFC for attending today with us. Dear colleagues, thank you very much for joining us today during the first session of this event. We will stop the live streaming now and we will start the second session in a few minutes. So please, ladies, keep your cameras on and open your mics for the next interactive session. Now I would like to invite Sister Christonia Lockhart to continue with the next session, which begins with a very interactive and interesting